You're listening to Podcast PXN, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. Let's do this. What's up, guys? Welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 49. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM on Twitter, and I am joined over Discord by the Nintendo aficionado, Roro. Roro, we are here 2 weeks in a row without Sean. We don't need him.
Nope. We got this.
Yeah, perfect reaction. Thank you to everyone watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube. Just search Podcast PXN and you will find us on there. Roro, before we get to the topic of the show, we have an announcement for episode 50. So I've kind of been working behind the scenes on this, and I just told you this before we started here.
Yeah, news to me too.
Yes, and we're doing a t-shirt giveaway for episode 50 next week. And essentially how this giveaway is going to work, join us on the live version of the show at 8 p.m. next Wednesday. And if you join us there, put it in the comments that you want a t-shirt, or even if you just want to participate in the show, put that in there, and we will enter you in to win one of the t-shirts. There's 3 t-shirts that are up for grabs. So, I'm excited.
I'm excited too. That's awesome. I can't wait to see what the designs are.
Yeah.
The design is.
I do have a little sneak peek, Roro. Funny you mentioned that. So I will show you on the screen right there. So I just put it up on the screen. I just did our basic logo, Podcast PXN, with the text and box. So super clean blue shirt. So
I like it. I want it on my body.
Nice. All right. And we have special versions of the shirts for each host as well. Even though Sean's not here, we're still somehow catering to him. Just kidding. All right. Moving on. So the topic of the show this week is all of our big news from Gamescom's opening night live, as well as the DC Fandome announcements that happened last week as well. But first, the show always starts with the PXN news of the week, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Roro, the first item on the PXN news of the week is Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War has a new trailer with a reveal that they are having a $70 cross-gen version, Roro. So I know we talked about a few weeks ago that NBA 2K was doing a $99 version of 2K that gives you access to both versions of the game. And then they revealed that the next-gen only version was going to cost $70. So this is kind of another different take on this whole pricing scheme for next-gen, because it's essentially you're essentially paying $10 extra for 2 versions of the game, which is a little bit different than how 2K is doing it. And obviously, I think this is going to be something to watch throughout next gen in general. Like, how many publishers are going to switch to a $70 price point? Like, is this do you think this is gonna, make the $70 price point a little bit more normalized?
I do, unfortunately. I do see, I know NBA did it previously, I guess you could say, before Call of Duty. I do think that, unfortunately, with this next gen, we're going to be seeing a new regular price for games. I hope I'm wrong, but I do think that there will be an increase when PS5 and Xbox Series X comes out. I know the cost of making games is increasing, so I think that's why they are deciding, I don't know if they have to, but they're deciding to do that with their different titles. So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's just for these upgrades. And if it is just for these upgrades, I don't understand why they're doing it, because I don't know. I understand that the optimization is there, and maybe that's what they're saying that we're paying for. But I do think this is going to be the new norm for purchasing a game.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think it's only a matter of time before everybody switches to the $70
Yeah.
price point at this point. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it'll be interesting to watch. But I'm fascinated by the new Cold War trailer. I think it's very interesting. They're bringing back all the Black Ops characters, and essentially this is a direct sequel to the first Black Ops game, which I thought it was very interesting because I liked the first Black Ops game and I liked those characters. So I think I'm excited for it.
Call of Duty is always something that's hit or miss for me. It's usually 90% miss. I
Yeah,
haven't played a lot of the campaigns, and the multiplayer never grabbed me. Like it's the trailers always interest me though, but every time I sit down and try out the campaign, it never keeps me to the very end. So
for sure.
maybe this one will. I will I even try it? I don't know, but the trailer definitely does interest me as well.
Sweet, sweet deal. Roro, we had a few weeks ago Crysis remastered shown off in a trailer, and I believe you made the famous comment saying, is that the Switch version?" And I think we ended up like figuring out that was the Switch version because the Switch version's already out, but they've now shown off a new trailer for Crysis Remastered for PC, PS4, and Xbox One coming September 18th. And let me just tell you, Roro, this trailer looks infinitely better than that other trailer. I mean, it's night and day. Like, my goodness, why did they lead with the Switch version of the game? I have no idea.
I
But
don't know either.
yeah, so I don't know. I might be interested in playing this at a later time, but I probably won't get it at launch or anything like that because I mean I already played it on Xbox 360 when they brought the original Crysis to that. So there's nothing in me that makes me want to play this. And I don't think you haven't really played any of the Crysis games, right?
I have not. No, the box art always like, wow, that looks cool. Maybe I should try it, but I've never picked it up. So I might. I'm definitely not going to get it on the Switch, but as much as I love the Switch, I think I might pick it up on maybe PS4 or PC, maybe, but more than likely PS4. But like you were saying, not anytime soon. I don't think. I don't think I'm clamoring to play this game right now.
For sure.
Yeah.
Moving on, we have a new rumor, Roro, that the Nintendo Switch is getting a new hardware model coming early next year with an improved display and interactivity. So, like, I want to pose this question to you, Roro. What kind of interactivity do you think we're going to get with this? Like, I'm just not sure what they mean by interactivity. Like, I'm all for a new model and everything, but I'm just a little... Like, what's that gonna mean?
I really don't know. I have no idea. Nintendo is such a weird company, and with their innovations, every time a new console comes out, there's always an interesting gimmick, and it's always hit or miss. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it's like, why did you guys do this? I think the Switch is doing really well so far. I don't know how much they're going to change with a Switch Pro, is what a lot of people are calling it.
Yeah.
And I also don't know how much of a improved display or graphics it's going to be. They've never been trying to compete with Xbox and PS4 when it comes to that sort of thing. But maybe I will play Crysis on this version if it's so much of a better display and it plays the games better. But I really don't know what they mean by interactivity. I don't know. It may be another way to play extra. I know the Joy-Cons had like very good. There was this game that came out called 1-2-3 Switch, and it was amazing the different things that you could feel with the Joy-Cons. Like it felt like there were some balls inside of it, or there's tension when you're. Yeah. So I don't know if they're improving upon that kind of stuff, but every time there's a new console, there's that time to show off those little gimmicks, and then they always get thrown to the side. So whatever this improved interactivity is, I don't know if it'll be in games after the initial launch of the console.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think Nintendo is going to do anything crazy. It's not going to be like a PS4 Pro or Xbox One X. It's going to be... It'll be more akin to, I think, like the new 3DS, the new Nintendo 3DS.
Yeah,
compared
bigger
to
display or something like that. Like the opposite of the the light that came out. Maybe it's bigger for whatever reason.
Yeah, very well could be. Yeah. And I put in here, like, I was thinking maybe Breath of the Wild 2 would be the perfect game to launch with this brand new system too. Like, we obviously still don't know a release date for Breath of the Wild 2, but I really think that would be very smart for them to kind of push this new system, be like, hey, we got a new system, and also Zelda is coming day one.
Yeah, so. And it looks better on this. And yeah, that'll be a great game to sell a new Switch with for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
I hope so. I want to see some Breath of the Wild real soon.
Yes, I agree completely. Moving on, Roro, I hate that we are doing this again because, my God, I thought I was done with this last week, but apparently not. I'm going to make this quick because I've already said my piece last week. I made a YouTube video last week because I was so pissed off on my personal channel, so you can check that out if you want. Just search XDTM3000X. That's a great name, Roro. Let me just tell you. But anyways, Halo Infinite has gotten another news story from IGN. That is who I initially saw it with, but it was reported by multiple outlets. But it is yet another example of a bogus news story. So there was a news story that said it would be delayed to 2022 and drop Xbox One support.
Whoa.
So, yeah. So here's my thing. So, like, how many weeks ago was it that they delayed to 2021? A week and a half ago? So why the hell would they delay to 2022 when they just delayed to 2021 less than 2 weeks ago? Like, the stupidity just drives me insane. Just think about what you're reporting, people. That doesn't make sense. And just to kind of give some credence to this, John Unishek, he is one of the community managers at 343. He immediately came out and said, don't take any of these rumors at face value because that's not true at all. We are still on track for 2021, et cetera, et cetera. And they put in their new blog post that they just posted yesterday. Same thing. They reiterated it across the board. And actually, they kind of pointed at these bogus news stories and said, over the past 2 weeks, we've seen the internet fabricate numerous stories and fake leaks that have made people, including me, scratch their heads. From rumors of dropping support for the Xbox One to releasing the game in 2022, there seem to be new headlines popping up every day. As we get closer to sharing more and more news, please only trust statements that are made by official Halo channels, members of our studio leadership, or members of the community team. That's a pretty clear statement that they're getting as frustrated as I am, and at this point, it literally feels like there is some kind of like coup against Halo Infinite for whatever reason right now, and I don't understand. I literally just don't understand why. It just baffles me. But
it's weird. I don't know where all these. Well, I'm sure you might know where all these weird rumors are coming from, but it's crazy that the big, like we said last week, that the IGNs are reporting on stuff like this when you could literally look at the headline and say, wait a second, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Well, and you could take a second and say, this is not true. But yeah, I think there's more here, but it's sad to see that that's, again, the press that they're getting right now. But yeah. I hope it's not. It doesn't make sense. I don't think it's delayed to 2022. I hope it's not delayed to 2022. No. And I know they're not dropping Xbox One support. That doesn't make any sense at all either.
Yeah, I agree completely. And just as evidence to the Xbox One deal, people are saying like Xbox One's holding back the next generation version of Halo Infinite. That's not how they're making Halo Infinite. They're making Halo Infinite with Xbox Series X at the forefront of their mind and then porting to Xbox One. And
just like all the other PS4, PS5 games, yes. Xbox One, Xbox, like Cyberpunk, like
yes.
There's so many other games that just throw that argument to the wind.
Exactly. And there's evidence in the past too. Forza Horizon 2, I don't know if you've ever seen that game on Xbox 360. That game looks absolutely terrible on Xbox 360. And like you compare that side by side to the Xbox One version, it is night and day, not even close to the same. So like I always point to that when people say, well, it's holding it back. No, it's not. That's not how that works. So yeah, that I just wanted to address that. And then also we did get a little bit of news as well with Halo Infinite. Yesterday in that same blog post, they announced Joe Staten, who is the writer of Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, and Halo Reach. He formerly of Bungie. He was the lead writer at Bungie. He has now taken on a leadership role at 343 to help them finish Halo Infinite. And then another gentleman that works on the Master Chief Collection team, that he's been doing the flighting stuff that has gone very well and people have positively responded to. So both of them have joined as new leadership roles. And essentially, like, Roro, I think of them as like the Rod Ferguson type of role. So like Rod Ferguson, when he came in and finished up BioShock Infinite, that type of role. So like it's more them help guide the development team into finishing the game. They're not like completely changing the story or anything like that. That's not happening. So yeah. And then also the last thing with Infinite, Certain Affinity announced on their Twitter page yesterday as well that their partnership with 343 is now continuing into Halo Infinite, which is very good news. I think I talked about this last week as well. They have worked on many Halo games, including Halo 2 Anniversary multiplayer in the Master Chief Collection, as well as Halo 4 Forge and Halo 5 multiplayer maps, etc., etc. So they have a lot of affinity, no pun intended, with Halo. So it's another developer kind of lending their help to get this game finished as quickly as possible, which is great news. But anyways, Roro, that is all I have for Halo. I spent way too much time on there, but it just, yeah, that needed to be addressed again, I guess.
I understand.
So moving on to more Xbox news, Roro, Battletoads, Tell Me Why, and Wasteland 3 are all getting reviews that coming out this week. So I am very shocked actually at some of these reviews because they're actually they're pretty good reviews so far. So Battletoads has gotten pretty solid reviews. Tell Me Why, I think's gotten middle of the road average reviews. Wasteland 3, I've seen some good reviews this morning. So I'm very excited about the future of Xbox. Just looking at, this month has been a great month for Microsoft with Microsoft Flight Simulator added in there. I don't know. Are any of those three games that you're interested in? I know you mainly play on PC, which these are on PC as well. But
yeah, Tell Me Why has been something that's been on my radar just because I'm a huge fan of Life is Strange and Don't Nod in general. But I read a review about it. And it looked like it's okay. It's so far. It's got some good parts. It's got some not so good parts, but I'm still excited to try it out. I have Game Pass, so all of these games I think I can just try out if I want to. So that's good. Battletoads, it looks pretty funny. I haven't seen a lot of gameplay, but I've seen a lot of like cutscenes thrown up on Twitter, and it seems like it's a pretty funny game. So that looks like a fun time as well. Yeah. Wasteland, I don't know, not too familiar with.
Yeah.
But I might be thinking of a different game, but it's like Destiny-ish, right? Is it?
No, it's
a co-op shooter.
Well, no, it's more of like a old school style RPG, like like the old Fallout games, Fallout 1 and 2. It's kind of like that.
I'm thinking about something else.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely a very niche type of game. So I think it's going to probably struggle to get to the mainstream. Game Pass may help with that, but it's definitely a more niche type of experience, which ironically right now, Wasteland 3 is the highest of the three of them. It's at 85 Metacritic score, so that's pretty solid. Obviously, it's still early because the game's not out till Friday. It only has 6 reviews in right now, so IGN Spain gave it an 80. I don't know how good IGN Spain is, but Uh, but anyways, yeah, and Battletoads, like you were saying, it looks very funny, and like some people are saying it's almost like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Oh,
Like
perfect.
like the cutscenes and stuff very much make it feel like that. I've heard that some of the gameplay is kind of but
Okay.
like the whole aesthetic of it is like very interesting as far as relating it to like a Saturday morning cartoon type of experience.
Cool.
So, moving on, Roro, the Game Awards, hosted by Jeff Keighley, he has announced will still happen this year, although in a different format. So, I think a great indicator for this would be the opening night live presentation that he just put on for Gamescom. I feel like it'll be very, very similar to that. And if you didn't catch that, essentially Jeff Keighley was in a small studio where he was just standing on a stage, kind of introducing each reveal, and then they did some cool like visual effects with the stage. So I'm down for this. I love Jeff Keighley's motivation for the industry. I think he really cares about the industry. Sometimes some years he's hyped up the Game Awards a little more than he should have for game reveals and such, but I think he kind of corrected that last year though, because he set pretty low expectations, and then they ended up announcing Xbox Series X, which is that's a big deal.
It is, yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited, Ro.
For sure. I'm super excited for that time of the year again, especially now that I'm part of the podcast. I'm so excited to talk about Game of the Year predictions and what we're all going to be thinking around that time. So I'm excited, very excited. I'm glad that they're still doing it.
Yes, I agree. This next one would have been well fit for Sean, but Sean's not here, so I guess we'll have to go on without him. Borderlands 3 is getting a new DLC, Psycho Krieg and the Fantastic Fustercluck, which, what a great name, coming in September. So it looks very interesting. It obviously returns the character Krieg from the previous game. I believe he was in Borderlands 2. I know some people were disappointed by this DLC that was announced because they were kind of hoping for a new playable character and maybe hoping Krieg would be a playable character again. But they did not announce that. So it looks, interesting. It almost gave me like a Scarecrow from Batman Arkham Asylum vibe to it. Almost like you're being pulled into his mind. I don't know. It looks interesting. But
I haven't played Borderlands 3 in such a long time.
Yes. I'm in the same boat.
But yeah, this is not obviously for me, but it does look interesting for sure. It's been a while. I don't know if I'll hop back in for this, probably not.
Yeah.
But it definitely does look like, for the people that are playing, something exciting.
Yeah. I think I'll go back when like all the DLC is like discounted,
Yes.
Because Borderlands 3, Brandy Pitchford.
Yeah. Oh God.
But and the other thing that's going to be hilarious is I told Sean this a while ago that Randy Pitchford, I follow him on Twitter, but I hate the man, which is ironic. But anyways, every time he posts a key on his Twitter account for golden keys, like he posts a code or whatever you enter. So I have a saved page on my Chrome on my phone. So every single time he posts that, I enter the code and attach it to my account. So I'm just wondering how many keys I'm going to have whenever I go back to that game. It's going to be insane. So,
terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Moving on, Roro. Mafia Definitive Edition got some impressions this week, as well as it had a new trailer at the Gamescom event as well. It was kind of a quick trailer. It didn't really show a ton, but the impressions that have been coming out have been very, very positive on it. Essentially saying that they rebuilt this entire game. It's really its own game at this point. It's not even like, I know Sean's talked about on this podcast before where he played the original Mafia, but he wasn't a big fan of it, and he didn't like the style or anything. But this seems like a very, very big step, like a complete remake of the game, like Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3 style remake. So it looks very, very good in the Mafia 3 engine, Roro. I'm very excited to play this because, as we talked about a couple weeks ago, I tried to go back to Mafia 2, which I love very much from my memories, but it doesn't really hold up nowadays. So I'm excited to kind of check out Mafia 1. I never even played the original. So yeah, I'm excited.
Me too.
Cool. Sorry, did you want to say something else about
for Mafia? No. Okay. I haven't played. I'm in the same boat. I think I've said this before, where the remasters, keep them coming, because I'm in the same boat. I haven't played this yet. I'm definitely excited to try it out because it does look like something I would enjoy. The story, the gameplay, everything looks like something that is up my alley for sure. So an upgrade, a remaster, I am totally down for.
Sweet deal. Roro, the final news story before we get to the games we're playing. Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 4 is featuring many Marvel heroes and villains trying to team up against Galactus. My God. I'm going to lose a lot of money to Fortnite, and I haven't even played in a long time.
Yep. I'm in the same boat, but I wasn't playing for a long time, and it's funny because the last season was not, I wouldn't say DC theme, but they had Aquaman in the battle pass, and now they have a bunch of Marvel superheroes. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, I'm popping back in, and I played a couple of rounds. I haven't bought the battle pass or anything yet. I'm hoping to just accumulate enough V-Bucks to be able to do that, but because I'm pretty close. But yeah, this season looks like it's something that is definitely up my alley, and that I might be playing a bit more of, just because Marvel.
Yeah. Yes, I'm in the same boat completely. This is going to pull me back in. Probably once I finish my Master Chief Collection challenges I'm doing to unlock all the skins and stuff they added, I'll probably jump back into that for sure. Moving on to the games we were playing, Roro, I famously said, and I say famously, but I'm making that up. It's not famous at all. But I famously said last year how much I hated Madden 20. I thought it was awful experience all the way around. Madden 21 is out. It feels better. I played the EA Access trial because I have EA Access. Actually, it's called EA Play now. They changed the name of it. So, but I played the trial, and I did enjoy a little bit of it, and they do have different versions of the game now, or like different gameplay styles. So like there's a gameplay style that's called arcade, where it's a much more pass heavy, and there's a lot more big plays and stuff like that. That definitely is more up my alley than their simulation gameplay style. There's 3 different versions of gameplay: arcade, simulation, and competitive. And they all have their different intricacies. But the arcade one I definitely had a lot more fun with than Madden 20. That's for sure. Roro, I also played the Marvel Avengers beta, which I believe you checked out as well. Yes. I very much enjoyed my time with Marvel Avengers beta, which I did not want to say because, the exclusivity deal and all of that. But there were definitely points where I felt like it did get a little bit repetitive, and I don't know how that will translate when the full game comes out. It does feel very samey, but there were parts that I really liked, and like the boss battles, for instance. I very much liked the intricacies of the boss battles, and how you're using your powers to fight him. I thought that was really good. I think the characters that you fight, or the enemies that you fight that are just normal enemies, I think they're a little bit dull. I know they mix it up a little bit with like shields and stuff like that, but overall I thought it was good. I'm probably still not going to get it at launch just because of the whole deal, and maybe I'll pick it up down the line. Plus, I have plenty of other stuff I still have to play. I still have to go back to Ghost of Tsushima at some point. I still haven't finished that. I haven't even barely touched it, nonetheless finished it. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. And then the last thing I played was the Master Chief Collection Insider build, which this is on PC and Xbox this time because they made an important change on Halo 3 that they wanted to test on both platforms. So this is including ODST. So ODST is coming to PC. And the Insider program ends on Monday, so I would assume in the next couple of weeks that will release on PC officially. And then the only game left is Halo 4 after that. But the important change they made on Halo 3, they changed the way the hit detection works when you're shooting the guns in Halo 3, and this mainly affects the battle rifle because the battle rifle was awful in Master Chief Collection before this update in Halo 3 because the way the hit detection works when they switched from 30 frames per second to 60 frames per second, to just simplify it a little bit, it just messed up the shots a little bit. So they did a workaround, so to speak, and it feels really good now. So yeah, lots of good stuff. Yes. So that's it. That's all I have.
So for me, I'll talk about the Avengers beta first. So where I checked it out on PC. And that was unfortunately my first mistake because there was a lot of bugs on PC when I was playing. And maybe it's just me, but I've also seen Imran Khan, he played on PC as well. He had a lot of issues when he was playing it, and he has a way better setup than I do. So I know that it could be my computer. Yeah. I'm sure that has something to do with it, but sure. I know he has a really good computer, and it should be no problem to handle Marvel's Avengers. And sorry?
If he has that good of a PC, I'm sure it's not your PC.
Okay, yeah. There was definitely some graphical stuff that I know was me, but the bugs, maybe not because of my PC. Yeah. But yeah, there was... but I had fun with the parts that worked. There was... I enjoyed playing as Hulk a lot. Black Widow I had some fun with. Iron Man, I don't know. I don't know about Iron Man. That was not... yeah.
He didn't seem fun to play. Like, even to fly around, it didn't feel fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope there's different types of combos that maybe I just didn't understand, but he was definitely my least favorite, which is so sad because he's such an awesome character. But Hulk was fun. Kamala was fun. She's another favorite character of mine from like the Marvel universe, but I'm so happy that she was fun to play as well. So Miss Marvel. But there was a time when I was playing as Black Widow when I was fighting Taskmaster, and the sky was literally changing colors, and I was like, this hurts. This is like seizure warning sort of level of changing of colors, like black and white. The sky was just changing. I was like, this is not good. And like you were saying, I don't think it's me, but maybe it is, but I really don't think so. No. So if I do pick up Avengers, which I will, again, maybe like you, might not be day one, definitely not getting it on PC.
Yeah.
Did you run into any problems when you were playing it?
For the most part, no. Actually, it ran pretty smooth. So I wonder they just might not have a good PC port.
Yeah, it might not be the best. That's what Imran was saying. Is like it's not a good port for the PC version. I don't know if everybody on PC has been experiencing that as well. I just know it from him and myself. But yeah, I don't know. It did kind of change the taste in my mouth for the hype levels that I was having for the game. So it might not be a day one sort of purchase because where I'm at right now, I don't even have my PS4. So most of my games are being played on PC or on the Switch. So I'm not going to be playing it a lot, even if I do purchase it on day one. So it might not be a day one purchase for me right now, but the other game that I'm playing is Spiritfarer, which we talked a little bit about last week, and I've progressed a little bit. Still just as cozy. Still, it's gotten to the point where it's making me cry. So it's heartbreaking now last week it was still all fun and games, but now characters are moving on to the afterlife. So it's a really fun game, but definitely some deep topics that they're talking about too, but in a lighthearted way. So it's never too heavy, but it always makes me think. But I'm enjoying it. It's still at heart a customization game. I'm trying to remember the actual name of it. Where you're resource management sort of game. So you're growing crops and taking care of your passengers, and at the heart, that's what it is. But it definitely has a very cozy / dark side to it, and it's starting to get really good. So I'm enjoying my time with that game.
Nice.
But yeah, that's about it right now.
Cool. I know a lot of people have been talking good things about Spiritfarer, so
it's really good. It's really good.
Cool. Sweet deal. Let's move on to the topic of the show, Roro. Gamescom and the DC Fandome event. I almost said Fundome, not Fundome, Fandome. DC Fandome event. So there was a lot of stuff shown off. So we're kind of going to go over the highlights. I kind of cut some stuff from the Gamescom show because there was a lot of smaller stuff. Which Jeff Keighley told us ahead of time that would happen, but yeah. So the first thing from the DC event, Gotham Knights has been announced, coming from Warner Brothers Montreal, the creators of Batman Arkham Origins, and it is coming 2021. It's in a different universe than Rocksteady's Arkham games, so keep that in mind. You play as Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, and Red Hood, and you can play it either solo or co-op with one other person. So that all sounds great in of itself. When they showed this game, I was all in for this because this is like the perfect team up for a Batman game, and obviously this is a Batman game without Batman being in it, so it's kind of a little bit weird in that sense. But I was very excited by this, and actually, I don't know, I might have almost been a little bit more excited for this than Rocksteady's game that they announced, just because of the circumstances of how that game was announced, but. Yeah, I think it looks super cool, and I'm down for more exploration in a big open world. And what are your thoughts on this, Roro? What did you think of the characters and their decisions and everything?
I thought it was great, and I don't know if the reason that Batman is missing is because of the Court of Owls, if that whole thing is intertwined into the story, but I hope so, because they're a really cool Batman story, so I hope they're involved in this somehow. But I'm so excited to try to play as Batgirl. Her DLC was one of my favorites from the Arkham Knight, I think, is where you got to play as her as one of the DLCs. So I'm excited that she's going to be like a main character that you could play the story through. So I'm excited to play as these different people in the Bat family. And I like that it's a 2-player co-op. I don't want too many people in my world. 2 is perfect.
Yep.
I didn't want 4 people running around. Can get a little hectic. So 2, I think, is absolutely perfect to play a story campaign with.
Yeah, I agree completely. The funny thing, Roro, when this was first announced, I thought that this was a direct sequel to Arkham Knight, because Arkham Knight ends with Batman blowing himself up. And I was like, wow, this is a direct sequel to that, because they had the same exact thing where they said Bruce Wayne was dead and Batman was dead, and I was like, wow, this is a direct sequel. And then they posted on Twitter like a couple hours later, this is not a sequel to that. This is in its own universe. It's its own thing. I was like, I
completely forgot about how that game ended, but yeah, they could have done a direct sequel if they wanted to, I guess.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Sorry, people. I did think of that. But yeah, I think... Yeah, that was a little disappointing for me, because I thought that would have fit perfectly. The only thing I am thinking is that Rocksteady didn't want them to do that, because we'll talk about here in a minute, but their Suicide Squad game takes place in their Arkhamverse, so maybe they didn't want them to mess with their universe, I guess. And I do actually have a theory about Batman in the Gotham Knights game, Roro. I have a feeling that at the end of the game, they're going to have a big reveal that Batman's not actually dead, and you take over and play as Batman at the end game, and have like some missions at the end of the game, like end game content essentially, where you play as Batman. That's just a theory.
I can see that. Yeah,
but
a game theory.
Yeah. So I think that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Moving on, as we were talking about, Rocksteady's Suicide Squad game was announced, coming 2022. Roro, ugh, that's
yeah, that hurt a little bit.
Yeah, that hurt. That definitely hurt. And like, I guess I'm just confused because the game Arkham Knight came out in 2015, so like 7 years. That's a long time for them to just show us a CG trailer, or 5 years from this point, but 7 years when the game comes out. That's a long time. Like, oh man.
It has been a long time. I don't know how much COVID affects this. Like maybe they were shooting for 2021 and then they had to delay it to 2022. Yeah. But I don't know. It does suck that 2022 is how long we're going to have to wait. 2 more years until this. But the trailer I thought was so cool. I thought it was super funny. The ending with Superman got me really excited, and the boomerang coming at the very end made me laugh out loud. So yeah, it looks like definitely a game that I would be into. Of course, no gameplay was shown here, like you were saying, it was just a CGI trailer. So there's still a lot of questions that we still want to be answered and to see how it plays. But Rocksteady, amazing track record with all the Arkham games, so we shouldn't be expecting anything less.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the interesting thing is maybe the reason why this game's so far out is this game is set in open world Metropolis, and essentially, obviously, we saw you're hunting Superman, but there was a lot of rumors early on that Rocksteady was making a Superman game, and
maybe they canned that and moved on to this.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking, that maybe they started development on that and built like these pieces in the world and then started working on Suicide Squad instead. Because there were rumors that Warner Brothers didn't want them to make a Superman game. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that would have been awesome to let them handle Superman because they did a great job with Batman. But I don't know. I'm excited for this.
He's such a hard character to nail, though. I'm sure if anybody could, Rocksteady would, but I can understand Warner Brothers' hesitation.
Yeah, for sure. And especially Superman 64. Ugh.
Jeez.
But some of the details: Harley Quinn, King Shark, Deadshot, and Captain Boomerang are the stars of the show here. It's interesting, Roro, that you said before with Gotham Knights that you're glad it was 2 people, because this is 4-player co-op, but you can still play solo.
That's true.
But they did say that if you play solo, the other players are controlled by AI. So
it's 4-player no matter what.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So that is interesting. I'm interested to actually see the gameplay of it. Obviously, this was just a CG trailer, but it definitely feels like it has a lot of humor and lightheartedness. It kind of reminded me a little bit of like Sunset Overdrive. That kind of esque.
I got the exact same vibes when I was watching the trailer.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm down for this. I just want to see some gameplay. But 2022. So,
oh, boy.
Yeah. Moving on, Roro, we are excited for this one. Fall Guys Season 2 has been announced with a trailer, and they showed off like a night theme. Like a medieval theme.
Yeah. That's cool.
Looks interesting.
I like the different stages that they had. Like they were kind of castle themed, like you're saying, night, medieval sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. The costumes, obviously, dragons and knights again. But yeah, it's cool. I like this a lot.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the more platforms this game comes on, the better. Like, I want it to come to Xbox so badly. I obviously can play my PS4. I'm just too lazy to boot up my PS4 and play Ghost of Tsushima. But yeah, this game is apparently headed to mobile in China, though. They're making a version for mobile for China specifically. I think eventually it'll come to everywhere on mobile. I think it's kind of like, I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, that it would fit well on mobile. There's only a couple buttons, so.
Yeah.
And it is also the most downloaded PlayStation Plus game ever, which is
That's
insane.
insane.
Yeah, I don't even
Yeah,
know.
it really, the people on, not the people, the community manager, I think his name is Oliver. I'm so sorry if that's not his name, and I don't know where I got Oliver from, but I think that's his name.
Yeah.
But the community manager, he's like overwhelmed with the amount of traction that this game has got, and the developers like this completely exceeded our expectations. We thought it was, we believed in our games, but we had no idea it would catch on this much. And I think right now they were hiring another community manager because it's too much, and in a good way, but
Yeah.
it's so awesome that this game has done so well and captured so many fans so quickly.
Yeah. I don't know if he's the same one that runs their social media account, but he is.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I have the right person,
Yeah.
then yeah.
Oh my god, he posts some freaking hilarious things sometimes, like when he was doing his whole spat with Tim the Tap Man because he couldn't get a win. That was hilarious. I loved that.
His name is Oliver, so I didn't mess that up. But yeah,
Perfect.
He's the Fall Guys community manager, and he's doing a great job.
Yes, absolutely. Agreed. Moving on, Roro, Doom Eternal got a new trailer at the Gamescom event as well. Ancient Gods Part 1 trailer. It definitely, as we've talked about this before, it looked like more Doom Eternal, which is a good thing. Ripping some zombies, not some zombies, ripping some hell creatures heads off and all kinds of stuff. It was exciting to kind of see that again, and I will definitely play this when it comes out for sure.
Yes.
So
Still have to pick up Doom Eternal. You guys keep telling me, Sean, especially when it's on sale, like you should have picked it up. It's like, yeah, I should have. But I love 2016, so I'm sure there'll be a complete edition down the line where I can get all the DLC and just play it in one fell swoop and have a great time. But the trailer looked fantastic, and it looked like a lot of fun.
This next one, Roro, I let you down because I completely overlooked this. Dragon Age got a new look at this event as well. My goodness, it looks good. Like, I'm excited. I've never been a huge Dragon Age fan, but I really like Dragon Age 2. I bought Dragon Age Inquisition at launch for $60 and literally didn't even boot it up. That's one of my backlog games that I'm most ashamed of because I didn't even start it. But yeah, it looks super, super good. Like they showed some environment teases and stuff like that. But it does seem like it's still very early in development. So I kind of
concept.
Yeah, because they showed a lot of concept art. They showed some in-engine stuff of some different scenes, environments and stuff that looked very good. But I'm guessing based on this that it's probably not coming till 2022 at the earliest. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I hope BioWare can kind of get themselves back on track with Dragon Age, and obviously they struggled a little bit with Anthem and Mass Effect Andromeda, but with Casey Hudson back in charge, hopefully they can kind of get back on track.
Yeah, I hope so. This is one of those games, along with Mass Effect Trilogy, where every time there's an event like this, I always see people on Twitter like new Dragon Age coming, or new Mass Effect Trilogy bundle. Yeah. So it's great that they have been working on a Dragon Age, because I know a lot of people have been waiting for a new one. So this is great. I'm looking at the trailer now without the sound, and it does look like you might be right. It might be a little ways away. Yeah. But and it's great to know that they're working on it.
It's kind of funny because Jeff Keighley introduced it by saying, and here's my friend Casey Hudson to announce something. And as soon as he did that, I was like, Mass Effect Trilogy remastered. Yep. And then he's like, Dragon Age. I was like, damn it. But yeah, when are they going to freaking release that? That's such an easy win.
Yeah.
Moving on, Roro. I'm gonna kind of combine these because they're a little bit smaller announcements, and I don't know a ton about them, so I'm just gonna combine them. Surgeon Simulator 2 was announced with the trailer, which looks as quirky as the original and crazy. Bridge Constructor has a Walking Dead version that they're releasing, which I played the original Bridge Constructor, and it's actually an interesting game. Like you have to build bridges across across ravines and figure out the best way to build the bridge so that it doesn't collapse when things go on it. It's actually super interesting. So it's definitely an interesting crossover there. And then also Sam and Max return, apparently, for a new Sam and Max game. But I've never played a Sam and Max game, so yeah, it didn't do much for me, but Jeff Keighley was super excited about it.
Yeah, these ones I'm in the same boat where I don't know too much myself.
Yeah.
Surgeon Simulator, that's a game that I just watch. I have never played it before, but it's always funny to watch my favorite streamers or whoever else play it.
Yes. I agree. Yeah. Crash Bandicoot 4 is the next one, Roro. That game looks good. It just looks good. And they showed off a new system today that they have like these classic cartridges or whatever that you collect, and then you go into these puzzle rooms essentially, where it's like a 2D puzzle room that you have to figure out your way out. And the developer explained this as being like a super difficult room to try to, challenge players. So it looked very interesting yet again. Everything I've seen on this game has me interested, and I'm not even a big Crash Bandicoot fan. So
yeah, same here. I haven't played a lot of any of the Crash games actually. I've been meaning to pick up the Insane Trilogy. It's on Switch, so that's probably where I'm gonna try it out and then get the PS4. Actually, is 4 coming out on? No, 4 is not coming out on the Switch, right? They haven't said that. It's PS4 right now.
I'm not sure. Let me look it up, but I thought that it was coming to Switch. Okay.
Maybe it is, and it's just that I'm associating with PlayStation right now just because of where I've seen it. But yeah, this game looks super fun, challenging. The art style is something that always blows me away. I love how they design the characters in this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am definitely down to play this, and I've been meaning to check out the previous games because of this one. So it's definitely intrigued me.
I lied.
To checking out the series.
Oh, you lied. I lied to you, Roro. It's coming to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on October 2nd.
Okay.
So
yeah, it might come to Switch eventually, but yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to be playing it on the PS4.
Yeah,
which is fine. Totally cool.
For sure. That would be a perfect fit for the Switch, though.
It would.
Moving on, we have Teardown that was shown off. I thought this looked super cool. Just the tech involved. I just heard people yelling outside. I don't know what that was.
What's going on?
Yeah. People outside my window looking in probably at what's this dude doing in the middle of the night. So Teardown was shown off with some super cool tech, I thought. They showed off like fully destructible worlds. It almost felt like Minecraft esque world, but like fully destructible. Like they crashed like vehicles into walls and it just like fell apart beautifully. Like, it looked very satisfying.
Yeah, I think it looks super fun to just crash into stuff with your flaming truck going through. It just looks fun. It just looks lots of fun. You're saying it's satisfying. I haven't played Minecraft, which is, oh my God, like maybe, well, I have. I played it a little bit, but never really got deep into it. Yeah. But the satisfying part that I can relate it to is when I played No Man's Sky, you can get like a mining tool and just chipping away at the coal or the gold or whatever you're chipping away at, it looks like it will feel just as satisfying as that.
Yeah.
But it's everywhere. It's not just that one piece of gold that you're chipping away. It's literally everything. Yeah. It does look really, really cool. I love the style. The the Minecraft blocky sort of graphics. But yeah, it looks fun.
I agree completely. Moving on, we have Little Nightmares 2 that was shown off with a new trailer. This game looked spooky, but it looked super good. Like, my friend told me, I've never played the original, but my friend told me that I really need to play the original because it's just so good, and people are clamoring for the sequel, and it just gives me like a weird, like, I don't know, dollish vibe, like creepy doll vibe. And I'm like, oh, man, I guess I need to play this. He actually told me the original game only takes a few hours to complete. Like, you can complete it in one night. So I was like, all right, I might be in for that. So,
well, for me, it'll be in the middle of the day, not night. But I
yeah. Moving on. Star Wars Squadrons and Star Wars DLC for The Sims 4 were shown off. I didn't even know The Sims 4 was still getting content. Like, holy crap, this long later and Sims 4 is still getting content. But Star Wars Squadrons, I think, looks very interesting. And actually, I think I'm most interested to like check this game out on VR. Like, VR just seems very fascinating with me, being like in the cockpit of a Star Wars fighter, like X-wing or Y-wing or TIE fighter, etc. I think that would be very interesting to experience in VR.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. I still have to, as I keep saying every time we talk about the VR stuff, I still need to get a VR sort of system.
Yeah.
But yeah, Star Wars Squadrons is something that I've been pretty interested in ever since they showed it off. But yeah, like the Vader thing that Sean was talking about a couple of weeks ago, I believe Star Wars in VR, it just seems like such an awesome dream for anybody who is a fan. So, and especially a pilot sort of game, that would be so cool.
Yes, I agree completely. And kind of, I'm going to skip this one. We'll come back to it since this is a good, transition point. Medal of Honor Above and Beyond was shown off. That game looks very, very cool. Like, that's a VR exclusive, and I thought that it looked really good. I loved the Medal of Honor games back in the day, but they kind of got weird as time went on, and they no longer exist now. But I am very, very excited for this game, and I think it's on Oculus. I'm not sure if they're going to release a Quest version or if I have to plug into my PC for it or not. But yeah, I'm down for this game. It looks very much like your Allied Assault, Medal of Honor Allied Assault, except you're experiencing it in VR, and it looks good. And the story components look good as well. I don't know.
To get on this VR train.
Yes, exactly. We'll have to get you to get a VR headset. Maybe the next generation PlayStation one, Moving on. Do what?
That'd be a good place to start.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Moving on, 12 Minutes, which is a game, 12 Minutes, not 12 minutes, literally. But 12 Minutes has a new trailer with a cast revealed. This is crazy, the names they got for this. This is a little indie game that they got some big names for. They got William Dafoe, who Green Goblin from Spider-Man, that's how I know him, and Daisy Ridley, who plays why can I not think of her name? Rey, yes, thank you. Rey in Star Wars. So, man, two very big names. There's another one as well, I can't remember, but some big freaking names for their cast. And this game looks very interesting, just like how it's structured, like around the 12 minutes that you're seeing, essentially. I don't know. I just think it looks interesting.
Yeah, I think the other person you were thinking of is James McAvoy.
Yes.
McAvoy. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I've seen this game before. Was it always voiced? Was there always voices in it, or was this?
I think they're
like, how do we?
I think their last trailer was voiced, but I think it was voiced by someone else. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, like you were saying, the cast is insane. It's so cool that they got these actors to get involved with this project. I love how it's just one shot and so many different things are going on. It's going to be cool to see how the environment changes over the course of the game. I love when movies do it, so when a game does it, it's going to be even cooler to have that interactivity. But yeah, this definitely looks like a game I will be into, and having the cast as well is definitely a motivating factor to pick this up.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on, Roro, Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition has been shown off coming October 15th, which I think we've discussed this before. I'm not huge on Age of Empires, but I really never played them back in the day. I played this game called Empire Earth on PC back in the day. Loved that game. It was very similar to Age of Empires. So I'm kind of interested in this to see if this remaster would be something I'd be interested in. And I think it's coming on Xbox Game Pass for PC. Yes, because it's a first party game. So I'll probably check it out on there. So very, very interested.
Yes. These games have never got me. The closest thing that I can think of that I played to something like this is like Roller Coaster Tycoon, and it's nothing like this.
Yeah, RTS. So you don't have you played any other RTS games before?
I honestly couldn't think of anything.
Man, yeah. I love me some Halo Wars. Oh, but of course, anything Halo.
I have played XCOM. Would that be considered one?
Well,
I love XCOM.
Well, XCOM is kind of a turn-based, but it's similar. Yeah, I'd say that's similar.
Close. Yeah, maybe it's closer than Roller Coaster Tycoon to to this.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a game that I enjoy, but yeah, I've never been really into.
So you like XCOM then?
I did, yeah.
So, have you checked out Gears Tactics?
I have not.
Because that's supposed to be that XCOM style turn-based combat and such. But I've never played any XCOM games, so I didn't know if I should even go into that. Because I like Gears of War, but I don't know. Moving on, Roro. We're moving on to probably one of the most exciting trailers from this entire event. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. They announced this coming in the PlayStation 5 launch window, which is exciting. I think, I don't know what you think, but I think Q1, probably January or February 2021 is when I was thinking it would come out. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that seems good to me. I don't see that coming like in 2020. Yeah. I do think it'll be like an early 2021 game. So yeah, February, March is what I'm thinking. I think that would be perfect, like Horizon Zero Dawn sort of time of year.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks amazing. It looks so good. It looks just as good as when they showed it off the first time.
Yes, and it literally is. I feel like it's the perfect showpiece for next gen. Like that, there hasn't been a single next gen game that has looked this good. Like, yeah. I mean, Sony paid like what $320 million or something like that for Insomniac to bring them into PlayStation exclusive studio. And I think they were worth every single penny of that at this point. They've released Spider-Man PS4, and now they have two of their launch window / launch games, Spider-Man Miles Morales and this. So, yeah, it looks really good. The rifting looks amazing. Just all of the like environmental details look amazing. There's tons of like effects, like when you're shooting things and things blowing up. It just looks so good. Awesome.
Yeah, the first one was beautiful, so I can't wait to see. I mean, we are seeing it. It's amazing how much they can improve upon something that was already looking so beautiful.
Yes. Moving on to our final news story, Roro. Destiny 2 Beyond Light has a new trailer. with the stasis subclasses being shown off. So this looks like almost like Iceman has showed up in Destiny. They were showing off these stasis abilities. I'm like, oh my god, this is insane. Everyone's like exploding into frozen crystals. It's awesome.
It does.
I don't know. Is there a highlight for you? Obviously, you're gonna prefer whatever character you play as. What Hunter, Warlock, or Titan?
I usually play as Warlock. A lot of what I was seeing seems like it might stay that way, but the Titan looks super fun to play as well. When he did his slam, when he hit the ground, there would be like an after effect of
trail
of ice like following where he punched, and that looked super fun. And the Warlock was able to use their rift, and anybody who entered the rift froze. I was like, oh, that's going to be super fun to use. I can't wait to see how this is going to play in multiplayer PvP. I should say, like Crucible.
Yeah,
that should be very interesting. Because we've had these subclasses for a while now. The new subclasses, we had some new subclasses in Forsaken. I believe was the last time we got an update. I might be wrong on that, but I think that was the last time.
Yeah.
So it's always fun to get some new powers, and the stasis ability being kind of a darkness subclass has been something that Destiny players have been asking for since the first game. Like, we've been theorizing about when is that going to happen? When are we finally going to go to the dark side? So it's really cool that we're finally getting this subclass to play with. There was a cool weapon as well. It seemed like a staff that someone was using, and they raised it up, and then everybody that was frozen in the rift kind of exploded. So there's some really cool weapons. Obviously, the subclasses I was talking about look super fun. So I'm sad that it got delayed because it would have been coming out pretty soon. But I'm excited to play it when it does come out.
Agreed completely. And it is in Game Pass as well from day one. So that's exciting as well. Including all the DLC, which I actually just thought of that. If it's on Game Pass on PC, I might check it out on PC since I've been playing on Xbox One most of the time. So
nice. And they have crossplay, so you'll be able to bring everything over.
Yes.
Cross
save. Yeah. Soon crossplay. I think that's next on their agenda. But yeah, cool. Anything else, Roro, that you want to talk about before we exit the show?
No, that was it. That was great.
Sweet deal. All right. Thank you again to everyone joining us both live on YouTube and on podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, and Stitcher. Remember, guys, join us next week live at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday. We will have a t-shirt giveaway. There's 3 t-shirts that I have to give away. So make sure you guys check us out there and enter for a chance. Put your comment in our YouTube live chat, and we will enter you in to win a t-shirt. So check us out then. Thank you, Roro. I am Daniel. This has been Podcast PXN, and we are out. Much love and keep on gaming. See ya.
See ya.
I just added it for you, Roro.
Thank you.